Decentralized finance, one of the many different crypto categories. What we're going to talk about today, and I think these three are going to do extremely well. We're going to look at borrowing and lending protocols on three very popular layer ones. First, some housekeeping. Disclaimer. Big dumb animal here. Don't copy me. Entertainment only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Did you know you can buy crypto in a tax-advantaged IRA with iTrust Capital? Free setup, $100 bonus with this QR code or the link in the description. I've used them for nearly 4 years. Love how I break things down? Then hop into my crypto school. You'll get step-by-step courses on everything. Buying, selling, staking for yield, borrowing, lending, even going fully debanked. Plus, join lively crypto chats and catch my daily market updates. And lastly, if you just want to help support the channel, there's a join button just below this video. So here we are on CoinMarketCap. You can use CoinGecko. You can see everything that, of course, that is listed by market cap. We're going to look at Sui as number 12. We're going to look at Hedera, which is number 16, layer ones. And of course, the base network, which is technically a layer 2, but it's created by Coinbase, very popular. So first, let's look at Hedera. DeFi Llama, if you're not familiar with this site, you can come over here. We're going to look at all three of these from the exact same point of view, so to speak. We're going to look at the same metrics, I should say. So here's Hedera. Total volume locked on Hedera, 126 million. As you scroll down, you can see what's built on Hedera, and there's always decentralized exchanges, but we're going to look at the lending category. Their number one is Bonzo Finance. I've talked about it before. I've got many videos on it. You go into Bonzo Finance, 48 million locked. If you look at this chart, it started at the end of last year, and the amount, the TVL, what they call total value locked, which is the total value of the cryptocurrencies on there, looking at it in terms of US dollars, has gone pretty much nothing but up since they started. You can also look at it in a different denomination. For example, in HBAR or a cryptocurrency, sometimes that gives you a better idea of the trajectory, but most all of these are the same. Now, if we look at Bonzo, we're going to use CoinGecko. Market cap, 9 million. Fully diluted, 33 million. We're going to compare that to its total value locked of 48 million. Here's Bonzo. Here's what it looks like. You can see they're all going to have very similar layouts, the assets that are on there, how much has been supplied, and of course, how much has been borrowed. We'll compare all three of these in a moment. Let's look at Sui. So we go to DeFi Llama, we pull up Sui, the layer one. It has 2 billion locked. We come down here. Now they've got, in the lending category, Suilend protocol. So we're going to go into Suilend. It's the top one. It has locked 700 million. And you can see its trajectory. It's been around longer than Bonzo. Up and to the right, 700 million locked. Let's look at its market cap, 35 million. Fully diluted value, 50 million. I should have said, if you're not familiar, fully diluted value is what we're going to compare. Why? Because in essence, that's the total of the current price times all of that particular crypto's tokens. So it best represents what the market believes is the value of that entity. So if we look at it from that point of view, we've got 700 million locked almost and fully diluted of just 50 million. Huge discrepancy. It's like almost a 14x. We look at Suilend, very similar layout. You can see the assets that are staked, how much has been deposited. Let's look at Base. On the Base network, 4 billion. Not surprising, created by Coinbase. Coinbase in the US, public company on the New York Stock Exchange, and it has been around for a bit. And they created the Base network. There is no token. You can't buy the Base network token. Their lending category has two very popular ones. I didn't compare Aave because Aave has been around for so long. We looked at Morpho. It's a little difficult to compare Morpho, but I wanted to because I think there's a big opportunity here because it has 22 different chains. So it's not just operating on the Base network. However, it was picked by Coinbase to be the lender of choice. If you're on Coinbase and you have Bitcoin and you want to borrow against it, you're going to be using Morpho. Morpho has 5 billion locked. If we take a look at its market cap, it's at 600 million, fully diluted value 1.8 billion. This is the Morpho interface. You can see it's very similar. You've got the assets, you've got the liquidity. And there's 36 pages of assets. It goes on and on. Somewhat difficult to compare. But let's take a look at Bonzo. I'm just going to show you one thing that I find interesting. Bonzo, they call themselves liquidity layer of Hedera. They've got weekly calls. I always like to join. They do a great job. They are basically only holding tokens. You can only lend and borrow tokens that are on the Hedera network. I believe that's probably why they call themselves the liquidity layer of Hedera. So all of these are tokens that were built on Hedera and projects built on Hedera. Of course, people can put HBAR in and staked HBAR and USDC and their native token for Bonzo, USDC being a stable coin, very important to have a significant amount. And they've got 10 million supplied of their total amount supplied. That's huge because oftentimes people want to take out stable coins because they don't have to worry about a fluctuation when they pay it back. So the point is they're pretty predominantly, or they are only what is native and created on Hedera. If we look at Suilend, and it's harder to see because on Hedera here, on Bonzo, they list out the dollar amount in US dollars and then they tell you the number of tokens. Suilend flips it. They show you the number of tokens and then the dollar amount underneath. So here you go. Deposits, they're showing 892 million. Total value locked, 688 million because of the borrows. So there's their total value locked. But if you look at, for example, Sui, their native, that's their layer 1, just like on Bonzo, Hedera is their layer 1. Staked Sui, 200, if I'm reading this right, 81 million, 260 million. Okay, so that's over 500 million of the 688. Or of the total, I should say, over 500 million is the layer 1 Sui. But then if you notice, wrapped Bitcoin, liquid Bitcoin, the Sui ETH, bridged Ethereum, those are, and then they've got USDC, a stable coin of 63 million. That's excellent. You want to see that. But they predominantly have Bitcoin or forms of it and Ethereum or forms of it. As you come down here, it's little to nothing in terms of things on the Sui platform, if you will, unlike Bonzo. So Sui is opened up, and I think this is why they probably have quite a bit more in terms of total value locked, is because they're opened up to Bitcoin and Bitcoin variants and Ethereum variants, and Bonzo doesn't have that. Then if we look at Morpho, of course, Morpho has 22 different chains. It has an unbelievable amount of assets. Now let's just look at the pricing as it shows here on CoinGecko. This is from when the token came out. This is all of the pricing data. You can see Bonzo has had a nice run up here recently. Really took off from 3 cents to 9 cents. If we look at Suilend, we see, unfortunately, it's been going down since the beginning of the year. However, a lot of the coins, as we know, November, December of last year, hit some nice peaks and then came down. So this is a pretty common pattern among many different cryptos, is a sideways until the market really takes off, at least the altcoin market. And if we look at Morpho, well, they had a run up here in February that may have been around the time that Coinbase announced the fact that Morpho was going to be their lender of choice against the Bitcoin collateral. And then it bottomed out around here, 90 cents. It's around $2. So if we look at these three, we've got Bonzo's market cap and fully diluted value pretty close. Their fully diluted value is less than what they have locked, but only slightly. 48 million total value locked, 33 million in fully diluted value. Send is very interesting because it has almost 700 million total value locked, but its fully diluted value is only 50 million. That's a 14x. I tried to research in terms of finding out why there would be such a discrepancy. I thought maybe I would find something like they had a security breach or something. Couldn't find anything that would lend itself to say why there's such a huge discrepancy. Morpho, 5.6 billion total value locked, 1.8 billion fully diluted value. That's about a 3x. So you can see Bonzo's like a 1-to-1 on par with its total value locked and its fully diluted value. Send is a 14x and Morpho is a 3x. Full transparency, as you know, if you've been following me, I believe in decentralized finance. I think it's huge. I think it is definitely moving into traditional finance, or traditional finance is moving into it. But bottom line, everything in the financial world is going to be done more secure, faster, more efficient, you name it. There's a million reasons why crypto is the future of finance in general. And particularly, I think borrow lend is going to be a huge opportunity. So I own all three of these. But it is very interesting to see why there's such a huge discrepancy in send, and that may mean that that has the most opportunity here. We shall see. Thank you for watching. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day, and hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto.